Hello, hello everyone, and welcome to stream! Welcome back. It's been so long since I last have seen my son lost to this monster. I hope you're all doing well today. I hope you're doing excellent. How are you doing today? How's the energy? How are we doing? What's the vibe? I hope you're all doing well today. Good? I'm tired. I have no clue why I'm tired. I got a full night's rest, went to bed on time, woke up at a good time. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I made myself like a full meal when I woke up, and usually I don't eat immediately when I wake up. But making myself like a spam and egg and cucumber sandwich was too much for me. Or something, I don't know. Hello. I saw a bunch of y'all are first time watching the streams. That's fun. Cow plushie. Yeah, his name is Yakult. Everybody say hello to Yakult. He's my cow plushie that I love very much. Sounds delicious. It is a great time. Highly recommend cooking yourself some spam and an over easy egg, and then putting on slices of cucumber, and then cream cheese and mayo and ketchup. I promise you will not forget it. Oh. Hi, Oz. Spam is great. Spam is so good. Spam is so good. Any spam haters? You're wrong, actually. Spam is delicious. I love spam. As the stream title says, today we are going to be drawing a fantasy forest together. I saw that and I was like, what do you mean we're going to be drawing a fantasy forest? I don't know what that means, but that's okay. We'll figure it out together. I'm going to be talking about backgrounds and proportioning and stuff like that, and fun things you can do in terms of that. You're crazy, Kevin! You're crazy. Like, never had spam before? Spam is so good. Spam is like... Spam is meat container. That's not even a joke. It's like a can of meat. It's so good. Delicious. But yes, we're gonna be drawing that today. But it sounds so disgusting. You're crazy. No, it's actually so good. It's actually so good. But alright, before we get into that, you know what we gotta do? Because our mission at Wayne Canvas is to make art education easily accessible to everyone. So join us for free live stream lessons every week, and because we're not just a YouTube channel, we are an online school of illustration, helping art nerds turn their passion into income. So if you're an art nerd, be sure to check the links to our Discord. You can find our notes and artwork from streams, as well as challenges and other resources to help you improve your art. I also want to personally thank our incredible Patreon and YouTube members for supporting our mission. YouTube members can chat with our instructors and see video drafts before they are released, and Patreon members can level up their artwork with classes, Q&A and live critiques, and personal support like draw-overs from instructors. Cool and epic. And then one more time, we got one more thing to do because we've got submissions. It's art submissions time. Every month we have a different theme that everybody can submit to on the Discord. This month's theme is future fantasy. Take that into whatever the heck you're feeling, right? And a lot of people decided to make it about robots, which, you know what? I'm cool with that. That's chill. Fantasy robots. I play a Warforged too, you know? Cool and epic. Love that. This first one was submitted by, I believe it's Blipper in the Discord. This one's submitted by Blipper. I already know this character. Because I'm friends with Quinn, and I get to hear about their fun little D&D adventures. But no, this isn't Quinn's character. This is one of their other, the other players in their campaign, which is so fun. I love hearing about D&D stuff, and I love this character's design when I was first sent them. I'm a really big fan of how many people are playing as Warforged. I just think that it's a cool species to play as. I'm not biased at all playing as a Warforged. But I love it. I love fantasy robots. I think that it's just a lot of fun to mix sci-fi and fantasy together. And it creates a really fun, like, mix of, like, the traditional, like, fighting dragons and castles and stuff like that. And then there's robots. And I think that that's really cool. Thank you so much for submitting. Next one we have got from Greenifer. I love me a good robotic dragon. I love me a good huge city with a dragon in it. That's underrated. I love this one. Really fun composition. I like the really straight and intense like center composition we've got going on here. All these leading lines pointing directly down to this robo dragon in the center. Really fun. Love that. Thank you so much for submitting. Last but not least, we've got one from Lee. Lee, you're so cool. I've seen Lee's work a few times. Love this. Again, it's their D&D character, which if I had to guess, I'm feeling like this is Artificer Monk, perhaps. Such a fun style, such a fun... Oh, wait, I'm covering up the... Hang on, I'm gonna turn me off for a second because the her link is in the corner that I'm covering up. Yeah, the lineless style is so cool. What a fun design for a character. I'm loving the outfit. I'm loving the accessories. I'm loving everything. It's such a cool looking character. I dig it. I vibe with it. Thank you so much for submitting. Thank you to all three of you for submitting, and thank you to everybody else who submits to the Discord, !Discord, if you would like to join and have a chance to submit for future streams and future, for a chance to be featured at the beginning of future streams. Again, that is !Discord, and our theme for this month is future fantasy. Cool and epic, cool and epic. Love to see it. Okie dokie! Now, I was like, every time that I'm given a background stream, I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta draw a background during stream, right? I'm like, I don't know how long that's gonna take, so I sketched it out beforehand. So that we can focus on color today. And I don't have to worry too hard about, you know, actually wondering if I'll be able to get the color done today or not. But yes, so I sketched it all out beforehand, because I was like, I don't want to start something and then not be able to finish it, but I am going to do this one lined up. Composition goes hard. Thank you. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about some composition, and we're going to be talking about composition and, what do you call it? Composition and proportioning. Fantasy and sci-fi and all of that, those genres really, really benefit from when, like, those genres really benefit from really heavy proportioning. And what I mean by that is they really benefit when there is, like, larger than life proportioning going on. And the way that you make something look really, really huge is you have to give the scene something that can, where you can compare the scenery to something you recognize, right? Proportioning is all about sizing. It's about how things are sized next to each other and how you will alter the way that you draw things to make sure that they feel like they're sized right. And in this case, a very common strategy that concept artists and background artists will use is they'll add a person in the scene. They'll add a person, they'll add a recognizable object, and that makes the scene feel readable from a proportional standpoint, right? So by adding people in here, right, you got Corn, we got Pierce down there. That's how big this tree is. Because again, for reference, Pierce is 6'4", Corn is like 4'2", right? So how big is this tree? If that's how big the people are in this scene, right? So adding in something to give that proportional effect helps a ton when it comes to drawing a background of some kind. Corn is indeed a recognizable object. Yes, corn. When I was in college, I remember one of my friends, they looked over, I had drawn like this, and my friend was like, I love how that's all I need to know exactly who you're drawing. And I was like, yep. I was like, yep, very recognizable silhouette. And you call him a baby corn. He is a young dragonborn. Every time that I'm like, he's my D&D character, everyone's like, is he a kobold? I'm like, no, he's a dragonborn. He's just young. He's just a kid. That's all. I'm gonna be so sad. I was talking about it a couple weeks ago. Or actually, no, I think it was last week. Last week when I was like, yeah, nope, I'm I got one more session with Corn and that's it. I'm almost done playing as him. My copium. But another one of my characters that I get to play as just went public, so I can talk about her finally, which is fantastic. However, I'm not drawing her today. I wanted to draw Corn. Corn jump scared me. I only saw his neck and I thought he was like spindly. Then I see the full body, it scared you how ripped he is. Yeah, no, Corn, for D&D friends, Corn has 23 strength, which is higher than the maximum for people who don't play D&D. Your maximum is 20, by the way. So Corn having 23 strength is like, whoa, okay, that's a pretty intense stat. And getting the full backstory, it was like Corn was fed like alchemical creations as a baby to like turn him essentially into a bioweapon. Which is like, you know, I didn't write that. My DM came up with that, and I was like, that's tragic. Cord stats are so funny. Cord stats are super funny, because he's got, like, a plus in everything, except for intelligence, where he's got a -1. He's not the smartest boy, but... Hi, Sabi. Oh, hi, Sabi. Sorry, double take at that name. Hi, how are you? Like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. No, he was raised to be a bioweapon for a war. And then he had his memories erased and was taken away from the battlefield. And then was raised for 8 years in a different village. And that's when he became Corn and gained a personality because he didn't have one before. So Corn is double the age that he thought he was. Finished Noah's stream and then saw you. Ah, okay, okay. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. It's just a little baby boy. He's just a poor, traumatized baby boy. With a 213 person kill streak. Has killed hundreds of people. Yeah, no, genuinely. Oh no, sorry, it's 217. That's right. I reread my notes. I was like, no, it's 217. So funny. It's so funny. There are doodles that I just did of Corn with my Warforged Ethelon. And the difference between the two of them is so funny. I love it. The moment where sentience hits you, the truck, like, a little too late. No, not even. Like, it was, like, so, genuinely, he was raised as, like, an object. Like, he was raised not as, like a child, but as, like, a weapon for somebody else's war. And he was taken away from that later down the line, had his memories erased, so that he could be raised like a proper kid in a different village. And then he had his entire backstory yelled at him by the village elder whose brother was somebody that Corn had killed. Which is like a crazy backstory, by the way. Crazy lore that I did not write. And like figuring that out, like my heart was racing, bro, of like fighting this guy and like him like screaming that at me while he's about to like publicly like end me. Crazy, dude. I was baffled. It was a really good time. And then later on I learned about Corn's kill streak and I was like, ooh, that's a high number. He was an equipable item and then a character you hadn't generated. No, genuinely, that's so good, dude. Ugh. He's just a silly guy. The difference between Corn and Ethelon is the funniest thing ever. Stop sad and why not? I love it. No, I love it. I am a huge fan of making my characters like fun, like generally like nice, like silly people, and then you learn more and more things about them, and everything about them just becomes more and more tragic. And that's my favorite thing to do ever. It's like the more that you learn about them, the worse they are. It's a lot of DM player trust. I trust Kay a lot. He's never disappointed me in terms of, like, I mean, he's never disappointed me, but, like, in terms of writing, even less. Like, it's like, I have so much faith in Kay to write things out. Do you think Korn might have not benefited more from not having his memories wiped, or would the kill count be too much for him to handle if he was raised normally? So, because of how he was raised as a bioweapon, he had to have his memories wiped. Because if he didn't, he was not sentient. Like, the way that he was raised, he didn't know how to speak, he couldn't write, he couldn't read, he couldn't communicate in any way. It was like, he was raised as if he was like a fighting dog. He was raised as if he was like a dog to train. Like, he was not raised like a kid was. So if he wasn't, he would be like a snarling, violent mess. So if he didn't have his memories wiped, he would not have been able to be raised like a child. So he had to. And because of how mass memory wipe and regain works, he will never get those memories back. And that's one of, like, my big, like, points of, like, that was one of my big, like, inner turmoils that I had for Korn, was that Korn feels super guilty about what he did, even though realistically he had no control over it. Because it wasn't him. It wasn't like it's not like he had a choice in the matter, because he barely knew he was alive at that point. But he still feels guilty about it, and he feels extra guilty because he doesn't remember any of it, so he'll never know how to really feel remorse for what he's done. So he feels guilty that he can't mourn the people, but in the same way, he also feels like if there was any punishment to give him, this is a pretty dang good one. It's to feel, like, endless guilt for what he's done. Love your art, sounds so smooth. Thank you! Use a chisel brush! More people should use chisel brushes. They're the best thing ever. I love a good chisel brush. He was raised how you would train yourself to wield a sword. Essentially. But it was like, he was just raised to, like, it's like he knows commands, and he knows the people that are quote-unquote on his side, and he was raised to just shred everyone else. And that's it. That's how he was raised initially. And then now he's raised as an actual child. He has a personality and stuff. Any tips for how you keep line art loose but clean, but, like, fluid? I love how this line art looks. Looks very comic-y. Thank you. My line art specifically, my process is I let a lot of the line art do the talking. Because a lot of people, when they do line art, they do, like, very clean, like, single stroke lines. You kind of, if you zoom in, you notice how messy these lines actually are. But they all keep up the correct gesture, they keep up the correct strokes and the directions that I want them to be in, right? So it doesn't really affect it when you zoom out. But I let the line art do the talking in the ways where I let it do shading as well. So, like, some, like, texture in here, I don't rely on color, I rely on my lines. Some extra, like, shadows, you call these occlusion shadows. Some of them are occlusion shadows, some of them are not, actually. This shadow here is cast shadow. The difference, by the way, a cast shadow is a shadow caused by lighting. An occlusion shadow is caused by proximity of objects to each other. So, those are... occlusion shadows are the shadows that'll be there no matter what. And then cast shadows are the ones that'll be there if... that'll change depending on the lighting that the setting is in. But using your line art to do those occlusion shadows and, like, changing the width and the line weighting of your line art so that certain areas have thicker lines, thinner lines, stuff like that, I think really helps. It makes everything feel really fluid. And also just move fast. Don't move slow. The slower you move, the more exact you're trying to be. And, like, the less exact that you are, the more energy that you're putting into the line work itself. Like, think of it as if you're doing, like, a gesture piece. and like they tell you to move really, really fast with gesture, do the exact same thing with your line work. Don't slow down too much. You want to slow down to a point where it's like you're fixing things, like you want to clean stuff up, but you don't want to do it in the way where it's like you don't want to do it in the way where it's like, oh, it's like it loses all of that movement. You want to keep that movement in there. Makes it a lot better. Is Corn your absolute favorite OCs? There's someone else. Corn is 100% my favorite right now. I love him so much. I've got a lot of characters. I've had different favorites over the years. Corn is definitely my number one at this point. Get Corn therapy. He's gonna have therapy post-campaign. We have therapists set up for him, actually. That's not even a joke. One of our other characters has a mother who is a therapist. So his memories are completely wiped, but would there be any way for someone to retrain him into his weapon mindset, like if there's a certain command that might cause him to relapse into aggro? I'm so glad you asked. Corn's class is Barbarian. Corn is a Barbarian, and a thing that I gave to my DM, this is what sparked his entire extra backstory that I didn't write. The entire extra backstory that I didn't write, this is what sparked it. I said to him, I was like, you know what would be kind of cool? Because barbarians, for those who don't know, barbarians have a thing called rage, right? Which is a thing that you can do where essentially you get a list of like, there's like types of damage that can happen, right? And rage will essentially half the damage taken from those certain types of damage. So Corn is the type of barbarian where his rage will have every single kind of damage except for one, which is really dang good. But rage, when they say that, the description for rage, the actual rules as written description for rage is that it is brought on by an intense set of emotions. Nobody said that it had to be anger. There is nowhere in there that says that rage has to be anger. So I said to my DM, I was like, wouldn't it be a fun flavor thing if Corn's rage, depending on what emotion it was, it made him forget the entire battle? And my DM was like, oh, that is pretty interesting. And I'm like, I don't want to know why, though. You have to figure that out. You gotta write that in. He just has memory loss for no particular reason right now, but you gotta write that in. And he goes, okay. And that's what I gave him. So Corn has a chart. No, not quite. So Corn has a chart on his character sheet. You're gonna see some ancient Corn art. Which I can show this now because the campaign's over. But Corn has a chart on his... I think it's a memory chart. It's super small. But yeah, Corn's rage is not necessarily brought on by anger. Different intense emotions will allow Corn to enter his rage state. Depending on the emotion, Corn will either remember or have no memory of the battle that ensued. So there's 4 different ones. If he rages with anger, there's no memory. Excitement also removes his memory. But fear or panic and sadness, he's able to keep his memory. Right? And then, over time, it's if Corn enters rage and stays within the rage state for a d6 number of turns and does not exit the state before the end of combat, he'll enter his blind rage state. A wisdom save with a DC decided on by the DM will be made to determine whether he needs to be shaken out of this state. This can be done either physically shaking him or calling his name. His nicknames do not count as calling his name. Corn, Mona, and Monocopsy are the only names that work. Blind rage is a state that is only entered if rage is within an emotion that he will have no memory of. Otherwise, blind rage does not happen. So this is him returning into that, like, the memory thing where it's like, like, oh, I can't remember that at all. Corn backstory epically, yeah. And then there's hyperfocus. To combat his past, Corn is attempting to separate the skills he learned from his days as a soldier and utilize them properly as his current self. Which this is a thing I asked my DM if I could do. Rather than rage, Corn will attempt to hyperfocus, a strategy to zero in on what's going on around him so as to remain present in combat while still retaining his instinctive skill. When entering hyperfocus, a wisdom save with a DC determined by the DM will be made. If passed, Corn will properly enter a hyperfocus state and will remember the battle with a sound mind. If failed, Corn enters a regular memory loss rage state, whether it be anger or excitement. Right? So, oh, actually, we didn't keep this over time. It just became like he enters just a different rage. But no, so like there is a possibility for him to go back into that. And then over time, the party learned how to shake him out of it and learned how to control that state, which Pierce, who became Corn's adoptive father, was one of those. The first time Corn ever raged was the start of his journey. which forced him to leave the village because he had killed his parents and didn't remember it. Which is so tragic. I wrote that. That one I wrote. He got really angry at his parents, which again is one of the rage states that makes him lose his memory. So he became super angry and killed his parents. And then the babysitter came back and was like, oh my god, right? And she didn't realize, and Corn didn't recognize what had just happened, but his babysitter did. So the babysitter's like, you gotta leave. And Corn's like, why? And she lied to him and was like, there's monsters that are coming to the village, you gotta go. And Corn's like, but I want to help and stay and help. And she's like, no, you can't. It's like, you gotta get back. You gotta leave, get stronger, and once you're strong enough, you need to go back. You can come back. And that's how Corn's journey started. So when he came back, he was a fugitive. And that's when he had his backstory, like, shouted at him. If the party wasn't there or wasn't able to shake him out of the rage state, would he stay in it permanently even after the battle's over? Yes, until he is knocked out. So it's either the party shakes him out of it, or until he is at 0 HP. Yeah. So there's the only way to shake him out, which, like, it became a thing where everybody kind of knew how to get him out of it over time, so it was no longer really an issue. But, like, it would be, like, after the battle, and they're like, and you'd be like, what happened? What'd I miss? You know? There was one battle where we fought against, like, an ash dragon, and Corn had, like, couldn't make the wisdom save, so he, like, forgot the whole battle. And people were telling him about it after. He was so I made him, like, be so, like, pissed, like, super angry about it. He was like, what do you mean I missed the battle with the dragon? Because it was our first dragon, too. Oh, so funny. Other than preference, what makes a good chisel brush? Chisel brushes are nice because they have a nice range of sizes and, like, energies that you can put into them. So it's like, because it's just like a straight line, it's a chisel, you can make really thin lines, you can make really thick lines, and it's all based on the control of your hand. So this is also a really, like, traditional artist kind of brush, which I really like. I'm a really big line artist traditionally and digitally, so I like that this is, like, a brush that feels traditional in a way. Where can you find them? You can Google them. You can really Google them. There's, like, there are so many different chisel brushes, super easy to find. Every program should have a bunch of them. I mean, it depends on the program, too. Some programs you can't, like, get additional brushes, so programs you can't make them, so, like, you're out of luck for that. But, like, if you use, like, Photoshop, Clip Studio, Procreate, so easy to find chisel brushes. They are everywhere. So it is basically just, like, a pick and choose, because chisel art brushes are just so popular. Hearing Corn's backstory makes me really want to join a D&D group. Yes, it's so fun. I'm in a bunch of D&D games, but I play with kind of the same general people over and over. So the characters, I guess Corn is almost done, but I'll be able to play as another character soon. My friends know their name. Their name is Cricket, but that's about as much as they know about them. And then I play in a public campaign where I play as Ethelon. And then, what else? Oh, and then I play in Pokemon D&D where I play as Neptune, who's my girl who just had her backstory revealed as well. So that was really fun. Gotta get my chisel brush. Yeah, man. Love Corn's story. Thank you. I do have to thank my DM for the majority of it, because he did such a good job. We've got the same kind of, like, preferences when it comes to, like, stories and, like, monsters and stuff like that, so it's like, I trust him completely. I'm just like, you figure out what's going on in this backstory. I've done the same thing with this character, with Cricket, that I'm about to play as. I'm like, I've written this big, huge plot hole. You kind of gotta figure that out. I'm like, it's up to you to figure that out, and I'm excited to figure out whatever it is that you decide to come up with for them. Cricket is so cute. Wanted to start designing a chapter named Locust. I was assuming a character named Locust, but I'm struggling. I love that. I love weird, like, object names. I have a Candela Obscura character named Nightjar. Their nickname is Jar, another fun character of mine. Strider was a centaur that I played as. I loved them too. Rylon or Rye is my water ganassi. Plushie named Circle. Fun! Pokemon D&D exists, of course. Yeah, it's a it was a module that my partner is my DM for that one. It's a lot of fun. I play as Neptune. She's a psychic and electric type specialist trainer. Her backstory just got revealed because I had her be like she's essentially like taking a really long hiatus because she's like a really worldwide known like DJ and music artist, and like it caused her a lot of anxiety because she's so young, and because she's like faceless, so she was like constantly worried that like people would figure out her identities. So that was just revealed. Hers is a lot less tragic because it's Pokemon. So hers is a little bit more of like a little bit more grounded, I guess, of like problems where it's like for her it is like, I don't know whether I want to continue this career or not. And Cords is like, I need to parse the fact that I have killed 217 people and I don't remember it. You know, the differences. It's so funny. How does Pokemon D&D work exactly? I'm wondering how it would work in a D&D setting. Sure. So, Pokemon D&D, so ours is specifically set up like how a game, like a Pokemon game would be set up. You're a trainer, you're going through the world, you're trying to become champion. And then there's also like a bad guy group that you're gonna have to deal with that's like part of the story throughout the entire thing. In terms of like the actual mechanics, we have proper character sheets for the trainers. We play as the trainers, but we have a little thing for like the Pokemon stats as well. This is Tempo, it's my Zebstrika, right? So you get a number of times, it's like just like your power points in Pokemon, you get a number of times you can use them, and then there's the whether it's melee or if it's range. Well, this is like an AoE. Thunder has become an AoE, high horsepower, flame charge, and full tackle are melee, right? And then it's what your roll to hit is, and then the damage, and then if you click it, it tells you what it does. Stuff like that, right? HP as usual, saving throws. But yeah, and then you have like your different abilities. Some of them are D&D, some of them are Pokemon, right? Lightning Rod, Sap Sipper are both Pokemon, but Tough is D&D, right? And it tells you your resistances and stuff like that. It works just like Pokemon, but like on a tabletop instead, which is really fun. Team Rocket, no, my partner made the entire world. So this is our region is called Yume. He made it himself. And the team that we're fighting against is Team Thrashed. And they're essentially a bunch of people who are like failed Pokemon trainers, and they're like angry about that, so they want to get revenge on actual Pokemon trainers. Which is really funny. But yeah. You know, the goofy bad guy group that can't defeat you, and you need the Giovanni. No, we do. We met her. Oh, I don't remember her name, but she's a poison type specialist. She was really tough, actually. We fought her once, and we were about to beat her, but she dipped before we could, which was upsetting. Aren't you a Pokemon trainer if you're a Pokemon trainer? No, it's like people who would try to become, like, champions or tried to become, like... Because in this one, it's like, we made it more logistic. Like, you could be a Pokemon trainer as, like, a career. So then it's, like, some people are, like, you can be, like, a champion and then get sponsored and, like, go on, like, deals and stuff like that. Because if you're, like, popular, you can go to do, like, shows and tournaments and get money from that. So it's, like, people who wanted to do that but then couldn't. Kind of thing. It's like, it's almost like you wanted to be like a music artist but then failed at that. It's like you're chasing the dream, but the dream is hard to attain. They got thrashed. Exactly! Team Thrashed. That's right. They were like, they've been thrashed. If you like to draw animals in their natural habitat, that's fun. It's like the anime. Yeah! Exactly. No, Pokemon D&D is a lot of fun, actually. My partner is really good. I mean, he's a Pokemon streamer, so it makes sense. But he's really good at doing, like, the voices for our Pokemon. Because he has to play as all the Pokemon, too. So some of them are, like, dumber than others, and some of them are, like, bigger characters than others. One of our favorites, like above the table, one of our favorites is, my best friend's starter, who's a Combuskin. His name is Vulcan. And he's, like, he's a little dumb, he's a little hot-headed, but I like him a lot. I think he's silly. It's gotten, like, our entire group, it's like, because how he speaks, it's like a Mursk. You know? You know? It's so funny. I love him so much. Master Journey's final Marnie and her vibe kind of reminds me of what you're talking about. She's actually nice. She's a very supportive brother and team. Oh, I mean, Marnie. I love Marnie. Like Sword and Shield Marnie. I love her. Queen. I love her. Pokemon voices are so fun. I love them. Yeah, I chose Zipstrika because I'm super biased to Gen 5. I love Unova. The only thing, okay, I say it sometimes, but the only Pokemon game that I think has come remotely close in, like, quality of story to, like, Gen 5, ironically, is Scarlet and Violet. Like, it's the only one, I think, that has come close in quality of story. Oh, I turned on this layer by accident. Because Scarlet and Violet, you could say all you want about it, it was super buggy, there was a lot wrong with it, but man, that story was good, though. It's so dang good. I was so into it. Okay, start on Sword and Shield because I will not stop. Sword and Shield had some of Shield's better no matter what. I actually did get Shield because I wanted I liked Alistair more than B. But no, Sword and Shield has easily some of the strongest characters in all of Pokemon. Like Sword and Shield, cause I like Scarlet and Violet as a story more because it's more well-rounded. I think Scarlet and Violet did such a good job with like setup and like getting these characters and then also involving Pokemon in the story and making it really good. Like I loved how they incorporated everything in Scarlet and Violet, but easily, Sword and Shield has some of the strongest like written characters in Pokemon, like ever. Like the characters made that game. Easy peasy. Characters made Sword and Shield easily, because I loved the Sword and Shield characters so much. So fun. I didn't love the story. I think that the story was a little weak. It didn't really have that oomph to me, but again, the characters are what made it. I liked the DLC story more than the actual main one. But again, those characters, everything. So dang good. Oh, Legends Arceus, an amazing story. Yeah, great time with that one as well. A lot darker than normal Pokemon is, which I like. Again, that's why I like Black and White. A little darker than normal Pokemon is, which is fun. Hello, Lycan. Scarlet and Violet, if you look past all the dumb glitches, awesome games because of the story. 1000%! Scarlet and Violet had such a good story. 1000%. 1000%. A whole stream about Pokemon D&D. That's every stream with me, dude. Arceus versus Arceus. My partner says Arceus. I say Arceus. You know, I love Scarlet and Violet. The DLC for Scarlet and Violet also had great story, fantastic characters. Loved it. Love the DLC characters. So good. You see what I'm kind of doing here? These extra, like, little lines are not only for texture, but also just to give these lines more dimension. So, like, if you ever want your lines to feel less flat, don't only use them for your outlines. Use them for texture, use them for shadow, use them for, defining things. Give your objects more grit. It makes it feel, like, way better. You know what I mean? So, like, your lines are there for fixing, they're there to emphasize forms, so there are lots of ways that you can do that within your artwork. Such a good tree. Thank you. I love drawing trees, actually. They're one of my favorite things to draw. I love drawing trees and foliage and plants and stuff. It's so fun. My biggest hear me out was Leon from Zor. That's not... Do not give me somebody who is meant to be an attractive person as a hear me out. That's not a hear me out. That's an I agree with you. Okay? It's like when people are like, hear me out, Lola Bunny. What are we talking about? That's not a hear me out. You know? You know what I'm saying? It's like, give me something good. Come on. Adamant from RCS Awaken something. No, I love Adamant so much. Okay, no, so one of our... In Pokemon D&D, so I'm going back to it. Pokemon D&D, one of our players has a Hisuian Zoroark, who learned how to speak English because he can turn into people. And the first person that he knew how to turn into was Adamant. But obviously we don't know who Adamant is, so we call him Leader, quote unquote, because that's the only thing that he knows how to call him is Leader. So we kind of just have Adamant with us all the time. Because this Zoroark is just always turned into Adamant. It's so funny. Hi, I recently made it to the game studios concept artist. Don't know the pipelines very well yet, but I get anxious when my director has to redline my work. Is this normal? Redlining is the most normal thing in any art process. If your work is not redlined, that's a miracle. But yeah, redlining is super normal. Don't worry about it at all. It's a normal part of the process because obviously your art director is going to have different opinions than you, is going to have different wants and visuals. So getting your stuff redlined and changed is no problem. It's very, very normal. So don't worry about it. Like, you were hired for the job because you're good, but even people who are good make mistakes, you know? So don't worry too much about getting your work redlined. It's not a problem at all. I would get my work redlined all the time. I hand in stuff to commissioners and they ask me to change things, you know, no problem. People make mistakes. People will have different opinions and want things changed. That's just how art goes. Some people have different wants and needs and stuff like that, right? So, no problem. When I hear me out, I expect to hear an animate object or something, not Ryan Reynolds. So true. Do you have tutorials for trees? We do! I think we do, actually. Did we make my tree lesson into... Vin, Kevin, did we make my tree lesson into or Joe? Is Joe still here? One of y'all? I'm pretty sure that, like, we made my tree video into it, like, my tree lesson into a video. Yeah, I linked it? Alright, thanks. Appreciate that. Is there such a thing as too much? I would think if I'm doing a great job, Instructor Half wouldn't do too much. No, that's not true. Genuinely not true at all. Like, the directors are picky. So it's like, don't worry at all. Getting redlined is, again, a normal part of the process. You're doing great. What's my least favorite trope? Hang on. I gotta think. I got a lot that I dislike. You know what? Let's make this more interesting. You guys say some tropes off the top of your head. I'm gonna say if I like them or not. I'm like, because I know that there are tropes that I hate a lot. I hate but there are like the common ones. You know, damsel in distress sucks. I hate that one. I hate. Oh no! Hang on. No, I got it. No. Okay. My least favorite trope, literally of all time, I hate it when the main conflict of anything is caused because they can't have a 5-minute conversation. I despise it. Okay? When stalker to lover also sucks. Hate that one so much. Disgusting, gross, ew, horrible. But I hate it when there is like the main conflict for something is caused because they can't have a 5-minute conversation. It's like I was reading a comic once, right? And there was a conflict that went on for like I want to say like 7 or 8 chapters, and it still wasn't resolved or even close to resolving, because the constant thing that happened was it was like 7 characters and they all just made assumptions about each other instead of actually speaking. It was like, oh, it's like he was in this place, that means that he's a horrible person and I will never speak to him ever again, when in reality they had like tripped and fallen into the room or something. And then it's like, oh, it's like she won't talk to me, and it's like, I bet it's because she's friends with this person and that person's really mean, so I'm never gonna speak to them again and whatever, right? And it's just like, what the... Speak to each other! I hate it so much. It is... Miscommunication is the worst thing ever. I actually dislike love triangles. I think that those ones are also, like, again, like another thing that's like, please just talk about it. Talk about it, or maybe just stop being friends. I'm also just not a very romantic person. So it's like, there are very, because I find that romance is very, like, romance is super tropey, and I'm very, like, I want to see something new, so every time that I see, like a very common romance trope, I'm just like, don't speak. Series, I love reading. Hate romance. No, I like romance. You just have to make it interesting for me. One of my, I think, oh, hang on, what was it? It was like, I'm gonna make some people in here angry. I know I will. You know the movie, Your Name? For all my anime lovers, you know the movie Your Name? I'm about to make you so angry. Okay, I was watching that movie, and it was cute. I'll say, like, some of it was cute. I liked it. But one of the last things that happened, right? For those of you who haven't watched it, don't listen to this next part. There's spoilers. But this movie has been out for a very long time, so I don't really care about it. About saying it. Like, really close to the end of the movie, right? A thing that was happening was that they would forget each other's name, right? And they're like, okay, it's like, what we should do is we should write each other's names on our hands, so then... We should write each other's names on our hands so that we don't forget each other's name. What does one of the characters do? Huh? What does he do? He doesn't write his name, he writes I love you on the hand. Stupid man. Now you've both forgotten the names, and now you're gonna forget each other. Now you're gonna forget each other. Now look at what's happened. Now you've caused conflict because you wanted to be sappy. Ah! I hate you. I was so angry. I was watching it with my friends, and one of my friends was like, her makes me cry every time. I was like, I'm sorry. I got so mad, and he was like, no, I know you would hate that. I was like, I'm just so, you know, it made me very upset. I was very upset about it, and I'm like, I'm Jesse's crash out. I crash out about this a lot. I was just like, it just made me so upset. I was angry too, but I sobbed at that part. I would have been so pissed. Like, you know, when they finally meet each other again, or they ask us, like, what's your name? I would have been like, you! Why would you do that? Romantic? No. Stupid choice. I was so angry. Romance needs to bloom from really good friends in fiction. I find if there isn't some development from the love interest before they actually love each other, it feels really stupid and contrived. 1000%. 1000%. I am a really big proprietor of friends to lovers. I think that that's a great trope. Great trope, like, in writing, a great trope IRL. It works perfect. You know? It's a great, I think it's, like, having the romance start from something is really important, I think. Or else it doesn't feel real enough, I think. So 1000% agree. I hate reading slow burn. The writing is so funny. I love slow burn. I hate it too, though. Slow burn is so, like, painful, but it's so good, though. It's so, like, ugh, hurts. Except you're a bit older and way better at art. Ah, that won't stay forever. I just tuned in. Hi! Friends to lovers, a hint of angst, top notch. 1000%. Top notch. Slow. Slow burn is amazing. I won't hear otherwise. It is! No, it's so good. It's genuinely, like, it's so good. Okay. I saw somebody else in there mention Spy Family. Spy Family is, like, one of the very few, like... Here's the thing, though, is it's miscommunication with a purpose, and that I enjoy. I enjoy that it's miscommunication with a purpose, because it's like, if it's just pure miscommunication, it sucks. But in this case, it's like, oh, I can't tell them because I'm a spy. And, oh, I can't tell them I'm... I'm like an assassin because that would, like, you know, put them in danger and I don't want to be taken by the government. And then Anya's 4, so she's like, they'll hate me if I tell them this, right? So that one is a good example of miscommunication because it's miscommunication with a purpose, right? Which I think it's funny. I think that I love Spy Family so much. It's a great story. Really good. Forgetting what Spy Family's about. It's like... it's about this, like, family, quote-unquote. It's a fake family that this spy had to create so that he could keep, like, peace between, like, warring countries. But then the wife that he ends up getting, quote-unquote, that he ends up getting, she is, like, a spy, or she's, like, an assassin who needs to have a family so she doesn't get, like, picked up, and, like, arrested by the government. And then the daughter is a psychic. And she just really wanted to be adopted. But she's also just, like, dumb. So she doesn't tell anybody because she thinks she'll be taken away. And then their family dog is clairvoyant. So it's like, it's so good. No, it's such a good... If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. Really, really good. Haven't watched it, haven't read it. The reading experience is also amazing. So highly recommend that. Great anime. Well written. The main characters are all fully grown adults. Love that. It was really funny when Spy Family was out. There's like a thing where it's like I don't know who it is, but they had like a waifu of the year thing for, like, the anime people, and, like, for the first time ever, it was Yor, who is the mom, quote unquote, in Spy Family, who is a fully grown woman, and everybody rejoiced because she was fully grown. She's a 27-year-old adult, which is the best thing ever. Dumb characters are not entertaining to watch. What? Nosferatu, so try to know grasp the language, that's pretty dumb. Appreciate there were consequences of that. Dumb characters are not entertaining to watch. I haven't watched Nosferatu, so I have no opinions. I don't mind dumb characters. They have to be dumb in a fun way. I'm like, a dumb character sucks if they're dumb and they're trying to be cool. A dumb character that's dumb because it's funny is a good character. I love a good dumb character that's funny. We love you. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. I love how the gills look at that mushroom. Thank you! See, this is a good thing about chisel brushes as well. It's like you can have some thick lines, some thin lines. It's great. I have fun doing a lot of texture with these brushes. It makes everything look so good. How do you do line weight without it looking messy? It is control of the wrist. It's a lot of control of the wrist. Learning when to press and when not to press. It's also getting used to your settings, figuring out, like, how the feel of the program is and the feel of your pen and whatnot. Again, speed and line confidence and control is really up there as well, so that's really, really important when you are doing line weight and drawing and whatnot. I'm rounding back a little bit. Who is your biggest hear me out? Who's my biggest hear me out? This is gonna make you all judge me. Hang on. Let me think. I have no shame. This is just who I am. Who's my biggest? It's so basic to say the xenomorph. Like, it feels really basic to say the xenomorph, you know? But she's like... you know? Maybe the monster from, oh god, I don't remember the movie. I think the movie's called Antlers. Maybe the monster from that? Hang on. I don't know what it's called. But it was like a... It was a creature like this. And then it's like... Its antlers were made of like a double-sided, like, body part thing. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what this is from. But that thing, too. Yeah. Corn is bread. Cornbread. You can do it. I've drawn corn in that, like, baby... You ever seen the baby starfish thing? Yeah, see, xenomorph feels basic. The xenomorph, it's like, it's true, but it's also like, I'm like, it feels like a basic answer, you know? His horns look like loaves of bread. Graph paper. I saw somebody say the number 8, so it's, you know, it's I ain't judging nobody, you know. My Hear Me Out is Venom, the monster version of Beauty and Beast. His human reveal is heartbreaking. I like you, Doodles. I like you. I enjoy you. I loved the trend that went around for a while when people... I did it too. I participated. I enjoyed the trend when people took Prince Adam's human form and changed him up. Because his human form was giving pizza with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Jimmy, give me a pizza with nothing. Nothing? You know? Hang on. I'm trying to find mine. I drew it a while ago. It's been a very long time. God. He needed a beard! Yes! 1000%. He needed a beard. He needed facial hair. He needed hair somewhere other than on the top of his head. I'll stand by that. I'll live by that. 100,000%. Where did I draw this? When did I draw this? This is like... Okay, so it's past this point. Sorry, I'm looking through my files. I need to... I've been slamming my pen down so much. I am breaking it. I'm sorry. Okay, I definitely drew it with my chisel because I remember... When did I draw this, though? I know it's in color, so it can't be that hard to spot. Was it in this folder? No, it can't be because I just... When and where did I draw this? When... It's not outside of my... Oh, I found it! Okay. 571. Okay. I found it. You know what I mean? Like, if we had, you know, he's older, right? A little bit of gray hair here. Longer hair that, like, feels fuller. You know, beard. You know what I'm saying? Meat on the bones. Meat on the bones. You know what I'm talking about? You understand? Zooey mama. You know what I'm saying? Meat on the bones. I need meat on my bones. Okay. And some chocolate coins I have lying around. I would like chocolate coins lying around. Yes, with graying hair. It's just, you know. Joins the stream and here's meat on the bones. Hello. Welcome in. It's just, it was a downgrade. It was a downgrade. Prince Adam was a downgrade. You know? Meat inside the bones. Which, by the way, anybody in here has never had bone marrow before? Highly recommend. Super good. Love bone marrow. What would corn look like as a little human? I've drawn human corn before. I drew him as like a brick. Human corn is really, like, cursed. It's really silly. Hear me out, your friend's D&D OC you showed us that one time. William Black? He's our NPC. Also the one with the funny accent. Vane, V-A-Y-N-E. Unicorn, can we see? Oh, that's gonna be harder for me to find. I don't think I'll be able to find that in a timely manner. But no, I think I drew him like... he was like... I think I genuinely... It was something like this. And then he had like ears like that. And then I had his like hair. He's he looked like a Cartoon Network character. Like that. I think I drew him like that. It was something like that. There was also, like... William are so fine. It's so true. I also had a, like a... What do you call it? Turn Corn back. Yeah, no, he's better as a Dragonborn. I also had, like, a species swap for a bunch of the characters. So Pierce and Corn, like, swapped. So Corn was an Eldrin and Pierce was a Dragonborn. That Corn looked a little bit better. He was, like... how did I draw it? He had, like, the long ears. And then, like, his hair, he had, like, an afro. He had, like, the big... But his hair was, like a bush instead. And then he had, like, the sides were braided down, if I remember correctly. He had, like, flowers in his hair, because he was an Eldrin. So this was Eldrin Elf Corn, which is a little different than Human Corn. Human Corn is super cursed. I want to play an Owlin sometime. Owlin are cute. I want to play a Thrycreen so bad. I want to be a bug, dude. I'll agree with you there, the Great October. I will agree with you there. I remember once I was on stream with my partner and somebody asked me, they were like, Jess, do you prefer werewolves or vampires? And I turned, like, and I pointed at my partner and I was like, take a wild guess. I'm like, based on what my partner looks like, take a wild guess. Take it. I had a dream that I played a Tabaxi fighter named Tony the Tiger. Oh. Have a good one, Lycan. Which is like, for those who don't know, my partner is a fairly prolific, like, creator on TikTok and Twitch, right? One of his... He got a comment once that was like, you look like a 2014 Tumblr werewolf. And he has never lived that down because it's so true. It's like the long, fluffy hair... And then, like, he has sharp teeth, actually. He's got, like, the sharp teeth, the long, fluffy hair. He wears flannels a lot. Flannels and blue jeans. Has a pair of black Timberlands. You know? Like... Werewolves, yeah, it's so, like... He's just so werewolf-coded. It's so, like... It's so funny. OMG true, you know? You know what I'm saying? Ah! I love it. Ugh, hilarious. No, I love it. I said it earlier, defining forms is what line art is supposed to do, right? And using your lines to define every form is what you should be using it with, right? So only doing the full outline of something without focusing on the inner parts of the object, you're missing out on a good opportunity on what you can do with your line work, right? So using your line art to its fullest potential, really, really important. It creates a good vibe. Not the late 2010s Tumblr werewolf, yeah! What do I use to make a- Oh! What am I using? This is VitoTube. VitoTube Mini for PNG tubers. It's super, super easy to use. It's also free, but you should support the creators because they are a little indie company. I think it's just like 1 or 2 people working on it, so like even though it's free, quote unquote, you should still- Or no! Is it free? I don't remember. I think it's like free-ish, but like you have the option to donate, so you should donate if you can. Because it'll help them a lot. Line art's kind of whack since I'm on mobile, that's okay. You know. Just don't use... If you can, in the future, get like a tablet or something, because drawing with your finger is not good for you. No problem. Free-ish is cool, yeah. I'm scared just to do that little scream sometimes. Listen, it's... I don't know, it's the experience, I don't know, wait, what are your pronouns? Tell me what your pronouns are. I don't want to assume nothing. Pen clicks for every serotonin, and a lot of people seem to like them, which is funny. I get worried people get annoyed by them. Drawing with your finger isn't good for you. No, it can exacerbate the muscles. It's an unnatural position to hold your hand in. It's a lot more natural to hold a pen. So like it can be pretty bad for your your finger muscles and your wrist if you draw with just your finger too often. Pronouns are she, her. Okay, it's the female experience. There you go. You used to do it all the time. Good, I don't do it anymore. Yeah, exactly. It's like using, like I have a friend who draws with a trackpad, and I keep on telling her, I'm like, no, it's not. You really shouldn't. Like, I'm like, that's really bad for your... It'll cause a lot of cramping in your hands. It's really not good for you, but she could never get used to a pen tablet, so I'm just like, oh, it's bad for your... It's really bad for your tendons. Trackpad, yeah! School of Delight, pure female joy. So true. So any recommendations for not too expensive drawing tablets? We have... Ooh, actually, no, because the choosing your tablets video is just like how to pick a tablet. I mean, we get sponsored by XP Pen. You can check out the XP Pen tablets. Realistically, they are pretty cheap. You've got some cheap ones on there, too. My cheap one, I used to use some, like, old Wacoms as well. The old Wacoms, I believe, were, like, $50. Like, the screenless ones are not bad at all, you know? I used to draw with a trackpad for, like, a year. My art took days. No! Trackpads are bad for you. Don't do it. Not good for you. At the very least, if you can't, like, get, like, an art tablet, I'm pretty sure most of you have phones or some kind of, like, device that you can use, especially if you're watching it on here. Use, like, get, like, a stylus. Get, like, a stylus of some kind and use that with, like, your phone or something. Because you're still working with a pen shape, so it should be okay. Like, it won't be as, like, nice as, like, an art tablet, but, like, it is better for your hand. I know I used to use just like a normal like silicone tip like stylus on my old tablet, like, and again that's fine. It works. Huion H950p, it's super affordable, works really well, highly recommend. Nice. Facts, I started on a phone. Yeah, 1000%. Like, it's at the end of the day, it's the artist, it's not the tool. I just so happen to be really snobby. And I'm very particular about what programs and things I use. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. I have a lot of friends who draw on MS Paint and like work in not very expensive programs. They're amazing artists, right? So it doesn't really matter what you work with, you know? But again, I am a snob, and I like my expensive things. It's like you can tell based on me using a Cintiq and Photoshop. Wrists are clicky. You and me both. It's so good. Thank you! I like trees! People really amaze me with what they can do with Paint. 1000%! MS Paint, underrated for pixel art, genuinely. So good. Upper class art citizen. Yeah. Listen, I'm Year of the Snake. Apparently that means that I have expensive taste. Apparently that's what they've pinged me as, and they're not wrong. Awesome perspective. Thank you. Yeah, sorry, I'm zoomed in, so it's kind of hard to see. But yeah. We got a big tree leading up. Actually, I kind of want to... Let's make this better. These little line etchings that you see me add sometimes, they do a couple things. One, it's to add texture to the tree. Two, it is also to help emphasize the perspective of the tree. You notice how like me adding these little curves makes the 3D-ness of the tree feel a little bit better, right? Again, that's more of the form defining things you can do with your line work. Makes it feel really nice. Pizza Tower. Yeah, Pizza Tower has a great style, super fun animations, all done in MS Paint. Yeah, cool stuff. Cool beans. Hello, Starburst. Snakes unite. Oh, you're also a snake. So Eve... Kevin DM me. What year were you born? I'm a dragon. Ooh. Have a good one, kiddo. I used IPS Paint for so long, I memorized all the tools. I don't know how to switch. Oh, you're an ox? I'm a rabbit. My partner's a rabbit. Oh, speak of the devil. I gotta hang up on him. I'm sorry. I'll text you afterwards. I think mine is the rat. You can look it up. You'll also be able to see your element. I am a metal snake. I don't know what that means, but I'm a metal snake. A horse, ox, and golden pig. So you are! Oh my god! Wait, I didn't realize. I was like, I had to think for a second. I'm like, wait, so what is our age gap? I had to think about that for a second. I was like, oh my god, okay. Metal rabbit, earth tiger. Don't remember what I am? You can Google it. Yeah, no ages. Don't post ages in chat, but you can tell me your Chinese zodiac. Age gap is snake. Yeah. Metal is driven ice queen. I don't know, man. I just know that, like, I'm a snake and I'm a Gemini. So it's like, those are like the two, like, zodiacs that people are like, those people, they're snakes. They're mean and cunning and, you know, and I'm just like, stop. I'm just here. I'm not mean. I don't think. I can be mean, but I'm not mean. Metal Snake Gemini, I love that for you. Metal Snake Gemini, my two elements are metal and air, so that means that I'm an airplane. My brother's a fire tiger, my sister's a water horse, my mom's a water rat. Ah, you aren't mean. I don't think I'm mean. Whee! I could do these leaves. No, but it wouldn't look as nice. I should line it. Fire Dog Libra. Sounds like a Terraria boss. It does. Metal Snake Gemini. Metal Snake Gemini is crazy. What's the original? What do you mean, what's the original? I'm not mean. Yesterday, I'm so mean. I can be mean. I don't like to be mean, usually. It's freaking beautiful. Thank you. I do my best. Oh my god, hi Frey. How are you? Reminds one day roast, next day's pretty trees. It fits. No, don't. My favorite bread? I love sourdough. I am a sourdough girl. I love sourdough so much. When I was younger, I had a group of friends and we all asked like an adult after, because we were at like a gathering and like there was like just a whole loaf of sourdough and we went up to one of the adults standing nearby and was like, can we just take that? Can we just have that, the rest of that? And he kind of looked around and went, yeah, I don't see why not. So myself and this group of other little kids, we all just grabbed the sourdough and grabbed the other kids that were in the area and we all just fed each other sourdough because we loved that sourdough so much. And we wouldn't normally get a bunch of, like, a ton of it. So we were really happy to get a whole loaf. Sourdough! I love sourdough! Is sleepy? That's super fair. I'm also sleepy for some reason. And I got a full night's rest. Brioche. I love brioche. I had brioche with my sandwich today. It was a brioche sandwich. I love me a good brioche. I actually love brown bread as well. I love whole wheat bread. I think whole wheat is really good. Underrated. My family sometimes buys a whole wheat, like a whole grain bread. It's like honey oats, which is super good. Extremely bored because of burnout. If you're burnt out, stop drawing. You should try playing a game or listening to music or watching a show. If you're burnt out, you gotta stop. Banana bread. Love banana bread. Love banana bread. All bread. All I've known in my life is what of wheat bread from the store. I don't even know what sourdough is. You need to get sourdough. You need to experience sourdough. I had some brioche grilled cheese with potato soup a few nights ago. That's delicious. That sounds delicious. I remembered I had free will the other night because I was like, I want a snack. I want grilled cheese. I want to grill me a cheese. So I went downstairs and I was like, I can just make grilled cheese. I have free will. I can grill myself a cheese. So I did. I made grilled cheese. Sourdough's a religious experience. No, genuinely, I love sourdough so much. I have free will. I can buy myself a sourdough loaf. I'm gonna buy myself a sourdough loaf tomorrow. I want to buy ingredients for baking tomorrow, so I might as well. Because Valentine's Day is coming up, and I want to make my partner and I a small Valentine's Day cake to share. Realizing you're an adult, though, genuinely. Make your own. I've actually never made bread before. I'd be so willing to try, though. I'd be super willing to try making sourdough. It seems like fun. I'm hungry now. Me. Oh, yeah, Kevin. Make your cake to our Valentine's baking contest. I might, because I have to make it really close to Valentine's so it doesn't get, like, what do you call it? So it doesn't get, like, stale or dry or anything before he comes over. We don't have any, unfortunately, so just cheese. It's okay, grill yourself a cheese. Melt some cheese in a pot and eat it. Which apparently is actually not that strange, because apparently that's, a lot of cultures do that, so. You ever had, like, I don't know what it's called. I love Greek food. Is anybody here Greek? Do they know the cheese that you just kind of, like, grill and you eat it straight? You ever heard of that? I don't know what it's called. I'm an amazing grilled cheese maker. It's, like, the only thing I can perfectly shout out in seconds because how good it is. Grilled cheese is so good, dude. Grilled cheese is genuinely so good. God, this felt so good. Cheese be gross. You're crazy. I love Greek food. I don't know what you mean. Because I love spanakopita as well. Super good. Like the spinach cheese pies. So good. Fondue. No. Halloumi. Halloumi. That's it. I think it's halloumi. Halloumi. Yes! It's halloumi. Halloumi. Yes! I love this stuff. This stuff is delicious. Halloumi. Yeah. We love me some good halloumi. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. I'm not Greek. Spanakopita's so good, dude. I love Greek salad as well. Greek salad is so good because I love Greek dressing. Halloumi on a poutine. I've never had halloumi on a poutine. I gotta try that. Oh, yeah, halloumi. I forgot that was Greek. I have that often. Okay. Yeah, it's delicious. My brother talked to his friends. He didn't know what that butter was supposed to be put on the pan and grilled cheese. Oh. Uh-oh. It's okay. I think the worst offense I've ever seen was I saw, like, a thing where it was like, bro really thinks that this is how grilled cheese is made, and it was, like, the raw cheese in the pan, and then bro is, like, trying to, like, scoop it up with the bread. Which made me severely upset. As somebody who doesn't like cooking and isn't really great with cooking, that made me severely upset. I was like, that's pathetic. You know? Brunch place I used to work at has halloumi menu. Think you'd enjoy it. It's great. Please send me the link. Please. Please send me the link. It's giving Zarvos energy. No, it is. It's also Frey. It's also giving, oh, what's his name? It's giving Folger as well. Poor bro. We'll have to stream. Okay. It's like, oh, it tastes so much better. Like, bro, what? Oh, you know what? You guys can have a story. So when my father would tell me this story a lot. I love my dad. He'd tell me this story. His sister, my aunt, she is not a good cook. She can't cook to save her life. And one day she was in charge of, like, cooking him lunch, you know, as the oldest sister. And she made him mac and cheese. And he had the mac and cheese and thought it was disgusting. And he was like, gosh, why is it... He was like, it's so dry, and, like, the powder is just in clumps, and, like, why is it so gross? So for the longest time, he thought he hated mac and cheese. So he went to a friend's house for lunch, and like a while later, and his friend was saying, oh, we're having mac and cheese. And my dad was like, okay, well, I don't really like mac and cheese, but I don't want to be rude, so I'll just eat the mac and cheese. So he eats their mac and cheese, and he goes, wait, this is awesome. It's like, why isn't it? He's like, what's this made with, right? So they explain to you how you make mac and cheese. You know, you have, like, if it's like, you know, what do you call it? Like, you know, when you have, like, just normal Kraft mac and cheese, right? Or, like, basic Kraft mac and cheese. It's like, you take it, you make it with, like, milk or water, and then you, like, then, like, the cheese powder melts or something, right? So my dad realized something. He goes back home, he says to my aunt, he goes, did you not add in milk in the mac and cheese when you made it for me? And she goes, you're supposed to do that? And he goes, oh my god. So she made him the mac and cheese without adding in any liquid. So she kind of just had the pasta and strained it and dried it and then put in the powder, and, and that was it. Which is like, you'd think that, you know, which is so funny. It's like, no, he didn't Gordon Ramsay her. She forgot a vital ingredient. Bree, Zarvos, and Fulgur should be their own adventuring party. They wouldn't die, but they would lose half of their items at some point. Somebody would lose something. I kind of want mac and cheese now. Mac and cheese is peak. I actually don't mind the powder mac and cheese. I find it nostalgic, so it doesn't, like, bother me. I really love making my own, like, cheese sauce, though. Like, it's so good. It's so easy to make, I think it's called a roux. You make a roux, make your own cheese sauce. So good. And I don't even like cooking. I really don't. I don't really like cooking, but because of how easy it is, it doesn't bother me. We lost 24/7. Yeah. It was on the side of the box. Yeah. We don't get good mac and cheese in the UK. It always has a weird texture because the general cheese we get from stores being not suitable for it. Oh no. Try and make a roux. Get pasta. You make a roux, which is really easy. It's with butter and it's butter and flour, kind of in equal parts. You brown the flour and then you add in, like, cream. And then you mix it until it's, like, thick-ish, and then you add in, like, a bunch of shredded cheese, whatever shredded cheese you want, let it melt, and then put in that, like, cooked pasta. You're solid. So then that way you don't have to, like, you don't have, the cheese in that case doesn't really worry. If it doesn't matter. If it melts, it melts. So maybe try that for the future. Do we think that looks good? I feel like I should do it in more places. Like this, like, leaf texture thing. I'm going a little extra on the lining texturing for this one because I'm kind of having fun with it. Can't have it often anyway because of mild lactose intolerance. Just tolerate it, dude. I have never met anybody who with a lactose intolerant. I have never met a lactose intolerant person who has been like, oh, except for, like, one person. I know one person who is, like, actually, like, careful about it. The rest of my friends, they're like, I'll just tolerate it, dude. They're like, ice cream is too good. Cheese is too good. Just tolerate it, bro. It's awesome. Thank you. Just tolerate it, genuinely. Would Corn be a perfect sourdough boy or burnt bread? He would be burnt bread. Corn's father is a chef. He's not a chef. Corn will eat anything, but he can't cook. Poor boy does not know how to work an oven. You ever seen the video of the little kid who, like, is like, Mom, I made you, like, bread, I made you lunch, and he hands her, like, uncooked pasta? That is core. Oh. Vitamin B12 is apparently low. A lot of things make sense now. I want to eat cheese and ice cream, but I do need to limit it unless I want to suffer on the toilet. That's fair, yeah. Just tolerate it. New phrase. I've heard so many people say that. One day I ate a ton of cheese, ice cream, and yogurt. Felt like I was going to explode. After that, I've been able to handle dairy just fine. Dang! You bullied your immune system. Just tolerate it, bro. Just tolerate it. Imagine you looking down in fear as Corn hands you a microwaved uncooked steak for Mother's Day. Help! No, his father would never let him do that. Pierce would not let Corn do that. I'm gonna drop. You can if you want. You know, Pierce would never let Corn do that. He wouldn't get mad at Corn, but he'd be like, no, let me handle that. Yelling in the background, no. Pierce would not yell at Corn. He would get angry at him, but he wouldn't be like, but Corn is also just a very good child in general. I initially, when I was playing as Corn, I initially planned on him to be like a more of a gremlin. But then I ended up not doing that, and he's actually, like, a very good kid. It's like, Corn would actually be the kind of kid, it's like, if there is, like, steak in the fridge, he won't use that. He would ask and be like, hey, can you buy me a steak so that I can, like, cook it myself? And then he would try to do it himself, and then when he fails, he would go and ask Pierce for help. He's like, no, I can figure it out. Don't worry. And then he would fail instantly, and he's like, never mind. Yeah. He would try and get humbled. Is Corn short? Corn is 4'2". Corn in campaign is 4'2". Eventually, when I make him into a comic, he's gonna be 4'10". Expired steak, brah. Drank milk all my days in childhood, so if I got lactose intolerant one day, I'll be severely disappointed. Which sucks, too, because they can just happen. Like, it's not even a thing that you have to be bored with. Like, it can just appear one day. Hydration now. I've got a 2-liter bottle of water next to me. So, but thank you. Making toast and picking flowers outside, trying to pour orange juice. My poor boy. No one is safe. Yeah. No, 1000%. My brother, when he was a kid, never used to be lactose intolerant. Now he has lactose pills. 4 ounces of water. I've got a giant, like, athlete's 2-liter bottle of water because I'm just at my desk all the time, so it's just easier to have, like, this huge bottle of water. I'm sure you believed me before, but do you see what I mean by chisel brush being so nice, dude? But then you don't get up. Yep! I do get up, though, because sometimes I just get bored of my room, so I just walk outside, but... Ugh, this is what happens when art's your job! I say, though, I don't get up much yet. Me, it's pretty much I just can't drink milk no matter what, but I can eat cheese. Yeah, it's different for everybody. making peach tea because I have a hard time drinking water. Leaf water. My personal favorite tea is orange pekoe. I love orange pekoe. I love oolong. I like green tea. Okay, controversial maybe for some people. I don't like sweet teas. And I also only ever take my tea black. So I'm not a big, I don't put in milk. I don't put in lemon or anything like that. I don't even put in sugar. I prefer my tea black. Because I've been to the States, and I went to Atlanta, and that was the first time I ever tried sweet tea. I was severely disappointed. I was like, ew. It was one of my friends from Kentucky. He was like, it's good, right? I was like, no. I don't like it. Black tea gang, woo! Yeah. Does the brush go thicker by going in a certain direction or pen pressure? Both. So if I go straight down, right, I can choose to make it thicker in this direction, but I can also change my brush angle and go thinner or thicker with that. But yeah, that's the beauty of a chisel brush, dude. It's the best. It's both. Depending on the direction that the brush faces and on how you draw with it, it can change the thickness, which is beautiful and lovely. Looks majestic. It's the best. I'm telling you. Chisel brush for the win. Chisel brushes are the best. I love them. Got introduced to my drawing class today. We were told we needed to use charcoal. Haven't used charcoal since I was 10. I love charcoal! Oh my god, I love using charcoal. I love charcoal, I love Conte. Have fun. If you get to use a willow stick, my joys. I love willow sticks. Willow sticks are amazing. Texture brushes make me happy. Same. I love brushes with texture. I hate how it sounds. It's fair, yeah. Willow sticks are a type of charcoal. They're like a lighter, thinner charcoal. They're better for sketching than they are for final pieces. But I just really like how easy it is to get rid of it, to erase them with kneaded eraser, or how nice how light they are. So they're really easy to work with, really cheap. Conte is your thicker, more compressed charcoal, so it's more better for final strokes and lines and whatnot. So nice. I love charcoal. Love working with charcoal. Corn the kind of boy that really likes sweet stuff. Corn the kind of boy that don't question what's in his food and he'll eat it. Corn is like a living vacuum cleaner. My boy will eat anything. He do like sweet stuff, but he will eat anything. He's not picky. I had it established that Corn ate bugs actively. And when he was living in a forest, he would eat giant spiders. That's like a same twin. Charcoal's awesome until you realize there isn't a sink in the room. No, that's real. You know what? You got me there. You're so real. Why spiders? The forest that he was in was very heavily populated by, big monstrous spiders. So it was just a thing where he would just eat them. Because he could. This is what happens when I make him a black dragonborn, and that means that he... Instead of fire, his breath weapon is acid. So that also means he's just got acid internals. So everything dissolves and his saliva stings. It's like the kids eating chapstick because it smells good. It's been several times in the campaign where he's eaten the sticks of kebabs or lollipops and stuff, and Pierce has had to be like, "Hey, spit it, spit it, spit it." That's the one thing that Corn is kind of naughty about. He will eat the stick. All spiders I see are named Sophie because my dad named all spiders Sophie. That's cute. Spit that out right now. Yeah. Corn has offered to eat dirt before and has he's so funny. I love him so much. I'm gonna miss him so much. just would not let Corn eat chapstick if Aishos is there. Little guy who tries to steal the turkey whole every Thanksgiving. No, he wouldn't do that. That one he wouldn't do, because he's like, if it's Thanksgiving, then that means other people want the food too. So he will do his best to restrain himself, but his father would know probably to give him a bigger portion. When I was 10, I used to eat every plant in sight at recess. I was constantly hungry. How are you alive? How are you alive? You're not a little dragonborn boy. How are you alive? Dude, from what I understand, Corn is a dog where you gotta deal what you have. Jay, drop it now. Essentially. Yeah, essentially. That's Corn. And it's like the one thing that he's bad about. The rest, he's very like, he's very polite. He's very like, he tries his best to be really nice and friendly to people. He's very open, maybe a little too open with information sometimes, but you know, he's just doing his best. He doesn't realize that that's called info dumping. Very interesting facts today. It shows with his recently. Hey, that's if he has them in modern AU. Huh? Yes. Whatever once ate random leaves from the garden. I fed my brother grass once. And that's a true fact. Who trusted me with drawing mecha? This is not epically epic at all. I don't even offer it on my commissions sheet, dude. I don't trust myself enough. I like drawing mecha, but I'm not good enough at it. I don't trust myself to be paid for it. Like, I will literally only let my friends, like, ask me to draw them mecha, because I'm just like, I don't trust myself to, like, have the skill set for random strangers. Corn doesn't care who knows his social security number. He doesn't know what that is, realistically. He wouldn't know what a social security number is. They'd be like, hey, what are these numbers on here? He'd be like, wait, numbers? What numbers? Do I got numbers on me? Where? You'd like look for them. That's Corn. That would be. Mushrooms look so good. Thank you. Leave for an hour and somehow Jess has done 4 hours of work. This is nothing. I did the sketch beforehand, so it's just lines. This might just be a lines only stream as well, by the way, depending on how far we get in. I kind of like how the lines looks. I'm like, it's also, yeah, we've got 20 minutes. I don't think I'll have time for color. That's okay. I think these lines look pretty cool. I like how these look. Yeah, numbers, what do you mean they belong to me? Hang on. Numbers, what do you mean they belong to me? I don't have numbers. I'm not the one who invented them. What do you say? What do you mean? Numbers? What numbers? Somehow that doesn't make it less impressive. How do you know when your skill level is good enough for commissions? Realistically, you don't. It's, like, you can always ask people. Like, you can ask professionals and get them to look and, like, be like, you think I'm good enough for commissions yet? And then they can give you pointers if you're not, or they can be like, yep, I think so. And, like, help you with starting prices and whatever. But realistically, it's kind of hard to tell. To be fair, I've been taking commissions since I was like 14, so it's like, I've been doing them for a long, long time. I started with the friends and family and then moved out to, like, branched out to taking them online, but everybody's different. Can't get enough of the Corn voice. I have to do it as much as I can before I can't do it anymore, okay? This campaign, I play my final session in 2 days. I'm gonna be so sad. When I want a number. I mean, modern AU Corn has a phone, so he would know what a phone number is, at the very least. Social security number, though? No, he doesn't know. Taking into account, for sure. I love the Corn voice coming from someone who wants to be a voice actress. If you want to do voice acting, learn how to sing. Because singing will help you get better control of your voice. And it's like, I grew up as a vocalist, so I'm pretty good at, like, I have pretty good control over my voice. So being able to do voices and stuff is not the hardest thing for me, just because I know how to, like, work with the voice that I've been given, you know? But yeah, if you want to do like voice acting and stuff, I know a lot of voice actors, and like voice actors, they do, like, their biggest piece of advice is always learn how to sing. I love singing. Yeah. We have epilogues, copium. Yeah, but it's not the same! I have a level 5 tiefling who's 10 years old. Corn is level 15 right now. And Corn is... It's like, how old are you, Corn? That's a loaded question. Corn is... 9, but technically 17. So he... it just depends. The body age is 17. The brain age is, like, 9. And then I have a level 5 bard who I have written to be 25, but I don't know how old she actually is. Little baby boy at heart. Yep, I mean, Corn, like, he's 9 because that's how long he hasn't been a bioweapon, but before that, those prior 8 years, he was that bioweapon, so. I miss Ion so much too, and I'm also very excited to be Cricket and everyone else. Yes! 1000%. Used to be in a choir. It's a really nice experience. I want to go for singing classes when I have the chance. Yeah! I also grew up in a choir. I grew up with, like, choir experience, and then I took private lessons as well. I took private lessons for a little bit. I know that, but, like, before then, it's just my genes. I had, like, a naturally good voice because of my mother. I decide an age but never really stick to it strongly. It's more so an idea. No. With Corn, it's, like, his age is complicated because of, like, the fact, like, because of his backstory. And that was also not, again, that was not a thing I decided. I wrote him to be 8 years old, but then I learned he was double his age. And I was like, oh, okay. So tone deaf doing karaoke with me has been used punishment for losing Mario Party. That's so funny. I was told I had perfect pitch by my singing instructor when I was younger, so take with that what you will. Corn is, like, standing out on the playground. He's being pushed in the swing. So cute. Silly. I would sing with Corn. I wrote Corn to actually have a good voice. It just never came up. Because for those who don't know, Corn is trans. So the voice that I have for Corn is also a voice that he's putting on himself. Because he wants to have a more masculine voice. So that is him doing a more masculine voice. It's not only just like, oh, it's what he sounds like, but it's also, like, a voice that he's putting on. So it's like, if Corn wants to sound more masculine, he sounds like this. But if he doesn't sound more masculine, then he sounds like this, right? So it's like he's got the two voices, which I think are fun. But I wrote Corn to have a good singing voice because of, like, how much he does, like, a different, like, voice. So he probably has good control over his own vocal cords as well. But he just doesn't sing often because I also wrote him to have a very, like, light, like, singing voice, and he wouldn't really, he wouldn't use it that much. Epilogue performance time? No, Corn would be so nervous. That's the one, Corn would be so nervous. He's not good on stage. He has no stage presence. Trans icon, yeah, 1000%. Singing Corn would be so adorable. I've written a short comic with Corn singing, but that was a very long time ago. Sing a campfire ballad. Perhaps. Yeah, because I don't think Corn's performance is very high. It's like he can sing, but he has no stage presence. Because he's just nervous in front of a crowd regardless, so. If he has to, like, speak. Drawing corn in his cannon clothes? What is this? I like to believe I have a good voice. I just don't sing in front of people. Those I have always enjoyed, so who knows? Yeah, who knows? I have an alright voice. I'm a little untrained, though. I want to make Triss's hat. Let's go. How is that gonna fit in his head? To be fair, how does it fit on Atrus's head, too? Let's be so for real. Want to pinch his cheeks. It is an established thing that corn feels like an eraser. So, I mean, do with that what you will. Magic. Magique. What's my favorite food? Eggs Benedict. I like Eggs Benedict over a... I like Eggs Benedict over a bagel with smoked salmon and cream cheese. Français? I just have voice cracks a lot. Sometimes it never happens, and sometimes I can't even sing without sounding like I'm going through puberty all over again. Use them to your advantage. If, like, using a voice crack to switch between, like, going, like, singing from, like, your chest or your, or your pharyngeal to, like, what do you call it? To going to your head voice. It can sound really good. How long have I been drawing? I have been drawing since I left the womb. My mother, I was born with a pencil in hand, and my first words to my mother were asking her for canvas. I've been drawing my whole life. I've been drawing my whole life. So 20 plus years. Unless you mean this piece specifically, then just under 2 hours. But no, I have grown up as an art child. Thank you. How do you overcome getting overwhelmed when it comes to starting big drawings? Like, how many hours a day did you have to practice a day? I don't know. I just drew whenever I wanted to. Getting over, like, starting a big drawing, I don't get that anxiety. I'm very much like, I want to do something big. I have this idea. I'm going to start it now. And that's it. Like, that's genuinely my first thought. And then I'm like, all right, let's go. And then I don't think about it from there. And then suddenly I'm drawing a big thing. And then I trust the process. And I've always been like this. This is not a thing where it's like, oh, I was nervous when I was younger and I didn't know if I was like, nope. I've always just been like this. I'm like, yep, I'm gonna do a big piece. I have this idea. I want to make it real, so I'm going to make it real. And that's kind of just how I approach it, I guess. I'm like, I don't worry if it's not going to turn out good. If it doesn't turn out good, then I just don't continue it, you know? But otherwise, I'm like, that doesn't really bother me. I'm just like, yep, I'll just create a piece and I'll trust the process, you know? You could also plan, though, yeah. Do some thumbnails. That can also help. Just accepted it would be slow for a while and then eventually started being good rate, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just kind of draw for love of the game, dude. Creation is the greatest gift of mankind. So true. I think I saw a quote once that was like, I don't know, what was it? It was like God created art so that mankind could also experience the joy of creation, which I think is, like, religious or not, I think that's beautiful. Love of the game is a really powerful thing. It's true. Just like being here, dude. Some artists are slower. It's okay. I just so happen to work at a breakneck speed, but not everybody does that. That's okay. Drawing them in their canon outfits? What do you mean? Who is that? This is Pierce. This is Corn's dad. Our Eldrin Elf Ranger. He's the one who adopted Corn over the course of the campaign. When Corn learned that he had no parents to go back to. So Pierce adopted him on the spot. My boys. I'm gonna miss them so much. Just came to the stream. I didn't know my art was featured. You bet it was. Artist in chat. That's great of her. Is the brush you're using have an angle turned on? Yep. You bet it does. Pen pressure and angles. So I just changed the angle of my wrist if I want it in different directions. Yeah, point. Artist in chat. Only known from Smash Bros? What are you talking about? These are D&D characters. These are OCs, bruh. Found it's not a thing of speed for me. It's just at first I needed to practice doing things several times before it got to the point I could do it correctly. Then I got fast when I became good. Yeah, 1000%. Yeah, you get faster the better you are at drawing something, so. I'm pretty slow when I'm drawing something for the first time, so it is practice. Practice is half the battle. They're so tiny. Yeah, they're both really tiny. It's a really big tree. It's what I mentioned before. So using an anchor point, like a person or characters within a background, will give the viewer a sense of scale for the entire scene. So because of how small they are, this tree is ginormous, right? So it helps give a sense of scale for what this composition actually is, right? So that's kind of how you would do stuff like this. I know these shoes are more complicated than this, but... And I know I designed them, so it's my own fault, but, you know. Whatever. It's okay. I choose not to see. How do you deal with art block? I stop drawing. Not even a joke. If I am feeling blocked and nothing is happening, then I stop, I step away, and I recharge. Oh, quarters are small in general. Yeah, 4'3". He's 4'2". Yeah, he's small. He started the campaign off as like a 3' something character, but he's 4 foot now as the campaign has progressed. Even I spend the same amount of time on small characters as I do as the massive tree next to him. No, you shouldn't do that. If they are smaller on the canvas, they're less detailed. Okay, I gave this piece of advice actually recently. When you are drawing something and you're like, oh, it looks so good up close, but it doesn't look good when I'm looking away, when like I zoom out. You know why? It's probably because you've zoomed in. And you know what else is probably why? It's probably also because you're adding too much detail. Right? So if you know how a printer works, right? Printers print out little dots, right? And those little dots, they kind of meld together and they merge together and they create a like singular image, right? And they create a singular color, but it's technically just dots in 4 different colors, right? When you draw a bunch of details that are lined, or you draw a bunch of details on something and then you zoom out and they're not like really present anymore, those details will mesh together and they'll become like a big blob on your canvas, and that like will like overall it will hurt your work because the readability is gonna suck by comparison to the rest, right? So the less detail that you add on small characters, the better, because it's not like, because if you zoom out, it's not like those details are gonna go crazy, right? It's why I've given Pierce dot eyes. Like, I'm not gonna draw full-size eyes on him. Like, that's not gonna read well from afar. Like, if I decided to give him, like, all his lashes and, like, more complicated facial structure and whatnot, right? Alright, but because I'm not really adding that much detail to them, zoomed out, they still look fine, right? There's not too much detail going on. The colors are going to be really simple, so there's not that much going on with the characters. So they don't really clash. There's not a lot of information that needs to be taken in, so it's really easy to see them from afar. It looks like so... it looks like sourdough bread. Corn is really fun. He's a really fun design in where his... This is just a good piece of advice in general. The plating, his, like, scales match the muscles on his body. So, like, these are on top of his deltoid. He has belly scales, but they also look like abs. But they're not abs. They're belly scales. He has... like the abdomen muscles, obviously everybody does, and they would probably be very defined if that muscle was on top, but it's not. They're belly scales. So they have more of like a sharp structure by comparison to here. I just finished my commissions sheet for 2025. You see? It's like a carapace. This is Corn now, by the way. This is him post-campaign where he's a little bit bigger. But you see what I mean? It's like it does like this pattern. So it's like they're like proper scaling rather than like the actual abdomen muscles. So they're a little bit longer and a little bit wider on the front of the body. So again, it's more like more muscle structure. And then obviously like the neck scales that go in between the sternocleidomastoid helps emphasize the form of the neck, which is fun. But yeah. Me the tiger girl with them. Yeah. Do that in mine for sure. Spectral animal is such a cool thing. I need to learn to draw. Just an animal that's blue, bruh. But yeah, no. Corn has an ability that he got as a barbarian trait, which is commune with nature. So he gets to just, at will, speak with, like, an animal spirit and ask them what the area around is like. But I mostly had him talk with the tiger, so she's like his friend. Love it so much. Yeah! Feet are proportionally the highest cost. Bro, it's just a full body takes the longest. The more I gotta draw, the more you gotta pay me, dude. Which, by the way, commissions are probably gonna be opening this month for me, so I need to catch up on the commissions that I have not finished yet, so. So I've got a couple still. I love beers. I'm gonna miss these guys so much. And my copium, dude. What's Tiger's name? She actually doesn't have a name. She's a spirit, and Corn kind of assumed that she didn't have a name, or she already had a name, but he's just never asked her. I don't need both of those. I can just... that. Yeah. Cool. Fun! How silly. Oh, let's define. Forever in our hearts. I'm gonna keep drawing Corn. Like, let's be so real. I'm gonna keep drawing him, but, like... yeah, someday it might end up becoming less frequent, which is upsetting to me, but, you know. Can't wait for the random Ion references in campaign 2. Oh. No, there's a pocket. Don't worry, there are pockets. He's the girl with the substrikable stay, right? Oh, Neptune? Yeah, Neptune's campaign isn't anywhere near done, so she's gonna be around for a while, yeah. Hello. Yeah, let's just really quickly... oh my god, it's 5:02! Hang on, I didn't even notice. Hold on, let me just really quickly, like... really quickly add in some of the trees in the back, and we'll call this one done. I'm using a lighter gray so that it's not these trees are not obtrusive. And again, the farther away they are, the less detailed they are, the less we gotta worry about things like detail and whatnot, right? So, if it's not in the foreground, don't worry about it. I love drawing trees. I do like drawing trees! I love trees! They're some of my favorite things to draw ever. Yeah? Cool! We'll call that there. Alright, friends. Oh, hang on. Nope, something's bothering me. Hang on. Let's add in some grass. Give some more texture to the ground. And so I don't feel like death. Wonderful. Okay. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed that. That was fun, actually. That was a fun... that was a fun session. That was a fun stream. Thank you all so much for joining me today. If you like what you see, if you're here for the first time, hey, waynecanvas.com. check out the classes that we offer. I am one of the instructors, so if you would like to check out the classes that are coming up that we offer, feel free to check those out. My digital art class and my mentorship, I believe, both have spots right now. I believe. So if you want to check those out, those are available for grabs. And we've got other instructors as well. Every streamer that you see is an instructor, so if you ever wanted a class with one of them, that's an option. This file you see in front of you will be on our Discord. If you'd like to join the Discord, come hang out over there. Lots of art nerds, lots of people who are on there who you can chat with, get advice from. You can also post for the monthly submissions for your chance to be featured in the beginning of a stream. Or, if you want the working files, this has 2 layers, but if you want the working files from any of our streams, become a member of YouTube or Patreon. If you'd like to, you know, also get access to secret little areas in the Discord where I usually lurk more, along with other streamers. Go hang out there. I believe new tiers are coming soon that are being hinted at and featured on Patreon right now, but I don't believe you can actually get them on Patreon. So you're gonna have to keep an eye out for that. But yes, thank you so much for joining. This Sunday you are with Josh. He's gonna be showing you guys some character design, fun stuff. You guys are gonna be doing a character turnaround together, which is pretty epic. And then next week, Saturday, you guys will have Iggy. Iggy's gonna be rendering, oh, he's gonna be finishing some of your work. He's gonna be demonstrating how you can finish art. I believe there's gonna be, like, submissions. Perhaps. I actually am not super... Oh, wait, yeah! Tomorrow's our very last Sunday stream. We're gonna be swapping from Sundays to Monday nights. So we will not be streaming on Sunday afternoons anymore. We will be streaming on Sunday nights. That is with Faye and Josh. Iggy will be swapping to Saturdays with me. My time will stay exactly the same. I will be coming on Saturdays. But yes, it will be our very last Sunday. Monday nights. So it will be, so Sundays are no longer going to be our stream day. We're going to be swapping to Monday nights, I believe. But yes, thank you all so much for joining me today. And I'll see y'all in a couple weeks. Au revoir. Bye-bye.